Yo, thank you for clicking and watching this video. Hopefully you enjoy this segment. If you want to stay up to date with all the releases and videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As well, hit the notification bell so you always get alerted whenever we're dropping something new. Until then, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks again. You have been named the group leader of AMP. It's only right we in your warehouse, the AMP warehouse. I want the real story. I hear stories, I watch some Twitch streams, I hear things, but I want to get it live and direct. How does AMP come together? How was the members picked out? And when was it assembled? And when did the idea start that you would kind of fade out of NBA 2K, build a collective, and start making videos in IRL?
Well, AMP it tried to start a few times, okay? So we obviously, a lot of us, there was one big group chat with all the big 2K creators at the time where we talk and do collabs and stuff like that. I talked to Phantom a whole bunch, talked to Agent a whole bunch, and then Duke was kind of just blowing up. This was like around 2018 when we all were, started to know each other. But by the time 2019 came, like I said, everybody was, making more money, starting to go outside more. So we just, take trips to LA, build that, in real life bond. And chemistry. But around the end of 2019, we were like, we got to figure out a move to do this because you don't want to just be kind of stuck in the same situation forever. I think that's just for anything. My advice to any creators, always have other plans. Always, don't be pigeonholed into a situation.
Yep.
So we were like, we're obviously doing great in the 2K space. How do we move on to the next, how do we grow and expand? Oh, my bad.
You good.
So, the concept of AMP came up a few times. There's a whole bunch of different names. But the concept of making a group house was a thing like 2 or 3 times, and we couldn't just get off the road because everyone wouldn't be committed. I'm not even talking about Duke, Phantom, and Agent. I'm talking about, like, other people that didn't end up going into the group. The concept of AMP, like, we wanted to get it moving. It was going to be a house in L.A., but we just couldn't really get it moving. So eventually what happened is that, we came to the conclusion that we were going to do it with me, Agent, and Phantom, and Duke. But we hadn't reached out to Duke yet, So I'm trying to remember if it was the beginning of 2020 or the end of 2019. But basically, we were trying to reach out to Duke and be like, yo, would you be down to do this? He took some time to think about it, and boom. He's like, I'm in.
So, all right. You guys think about the landscape of NBA 2K, and you're like, yo, we cannot pigeonhole ourselves to only doing this, right? And then you decide to create a group, and the group was pretty much people who clicked in this large group chat. I remember watching vlogs of you guys go and pull up on Agent in Toronto, and you'd be running down the street when it was snowing and shit like that, right? So, this was just you guys hanging out, just trying to see if the chemistry was correct, right?
Right.
Trying to figure it out. Okay, cool. So, AMP is formed. The members are there. You decide LA at first, but obviously we know you guys came to Atlanta. How did that come about? Was it a lot more affordable, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's just that everyone was in the area. Everyone was in the area of Atlanta.
And I'm going to tell you why that's important, me being me. I remember at this time, LA was the move for every YouTuber.
Exactly.
You remember that?
Yeah.
If you moved to LA, I'm not even going to mention other creators, but you do the math. Everybody lived in LA at this time. This was peak vlog era. Peak, all you have to do is just live in LA, have a G7X, and just walk around vlogging your day, and you could pretty much blow up. You guys chose a different route, chose to come to Atlanta, which at the time, there's a lot of YouTubers here now, it's a lot of things going on, but at the time, it wasn't there. I was even considering moving to LA just to get an advantage. You guys decided to come here. Cool. Why do they call you the group leader? What did you do? Why is your role so significant to where they give you a lot of credit to making it happen?
I think I'm not even just saying this.
And you can scoop this mic up just a little bit through the, yup.
I'm not even saying this just to sound PR trained. I think everyone's role in AMP is super important.
Yep.
Right? Like I said, it started off with us 4. But I think, we based it in Atlanta just because Duke was in South Carolina.
Yep.
Agent had just moved here to Atlanta.
Yep.
And then Phantom was coming down here a lot, and it's like, he was the only person that was
And you was here.
in Atlanta, and I lived here, so it's like it made sense to bring everything to Atlanta. But I think, that original 4 of AMP, like all of us had different things we were bringing in. Like it was so interesting when we were first making the group because we were trying to like look at logos. I remember we had like 50 different logos we were looking at, but everyone would have their own thing that they were better at.
Yes.
So everyone had their own thing that they're like, okay, Agent was like, yo, we're gonna just title every video AMP does this instead of like trying to make like a good title, right?
Yep.
And then Phantom was making the thumbnails at first, and then Duke would have his thing I do. He
Yep.
does. I have my thing I do. So I think everybody's like initial, their own initial swag they added to the group is what like made it what it is today, honestly.
All right, so here we are. It's 4 guys. This is AMP. As we know, currently it's 6. So let's talk about the other 2 members and how they happened to come around. Chris Next Door, our guy. Was he the 5th edition? I think Kyle was last, right? Okay, so how did Chris come about? And how did you guys think that he fit the mold of what was being created at the time?
So I had ran into Chris. I met Chris in a YouTube comment section in 2017 when I was still blowing up on the 2K stuff early. Probably just had 100,000 subs or maybe before. I remember running across his video and I just like, yo, this is super dope. Obviously, Chris didn't join AMP until three-ish, maybe 4-ish years later, but that's how it started. Okay,
Yep.
Me and him kept up. We talked through Discord, maybe through Twitter every now and then. But he had just such a really good, unique editing style. Now, me, Phantom, and Agent met Chris maybe in 2019 because we were going to DC to do a video about, I think it's about the 2K servers, because I think the 2K servers were based there or something like that. So we were trying to see like what's the least amount of lag. It's something Agent was doing. But I remember while we were there, I texted Chris. I was like, yo, you live in DC, don't you? So we met, just happened. We didn't even have an AMP thought of at the time, but we just all of us happened to meet Chris at that moment, except for Duke. So, he was in our mind. We had met him. When the group started, we were like, yo, we need an editor. We went to some industry editors, and we were just like, damn, do we need to reshoot this video? It just wasn't hidden. And then we gave the video to Chris, and this story's been told a million times, but it's just like, we're like, wow, he gave so much swag and like breathed so much life into this. We're like, he's AMP. And it's funny, because we were like, once we had us 4, we were like, we're not adding no more members. It's going to be just us 4. But we saw the video Chris did, and we was like, he's AMP. We need to make sure he knows he is AMP. Chris got so much swag, and he just dropped a video yesterday too. Chris got so much swag and
very creative, bro.
So much references he can pull from everywhere in the world. Chris is such a creative genius, especially when it comes to this editing stuff.